moving.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, wait.
Tape.
Put it back up again.
Oh.
You don't mind,
Yeah.
please?
Oh, you want to see
a
a
picture something? Yeah.
Picture, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I seen
Oh,
the,
nice.
the smaller version of, or the shorter version of it.
Okay.
This
Looks
is
pretty badass.
how did you see the short version of
Ryan posted it up, I think.
Can you get over on my phone?
Yeah.
There's too many
it? He
people
wouldn't
now.
even have.
Well, I was just.
I saw something.
Okay. Oh.
Cool. Yeah.
Hopefully he has just a teaser,
Maybe that, yeah.
which is like a minute long.
I'll forget it.
Now or later.
Huh?
Now or later.
Do what, would you like it right now or later?
As long as I get it eventually.
I have the soaps and stuff in the group.
Actually, get it right now.
It's not gonna.
Right now?
Right now, so you could show it off.
Okay.
If you want, we could switch cameras. We could switch
Don't forget the picture.
We got
You kidding
it.
now?
group picture.
Group picture.
And so there was keys in here.
That's right.
Now there it is. No, to try to maneuver myself through this maze lots of time.
Okay. Do you remember it? She's smart. You got it.
Did I close this window?
Yeah, go ahead. What is your AOD?
Art of documentary. That's the academy that I.
Graduated from. Or when did
Yeah, you could say I graduated. It's online, so you go by modules and modules. You know, they give you a certificate of completion. So
So I've
yeah,
never done a doc,
yeah,
but I want to.
yeah.
And
No,
I told you that. I emailed you about it, so
right.
it's in the works,
It's
I
not-
think.
Like I thought he had a solid plan. Like you know, like okay, I see. I was. I'll be honest. I was like a little intimidated
Just record
with
it.
10 interviews.
Yeah, I thought about it after you mentioned it. I'm like, she has a point. 10 is a lot of people.
Right. Right.
And
But
so-
when I thought you had like your vision, I'm like, I don't want to dissuade you from your vision, you know, because like,
Well, out of all those 10 people, I would have to dive into each individual, and that's a lot. That would be a long
that's
documentary.
why I asked you, is this a series
Right.
rather than one?
Well, it got me once you asked it, and I'm like, okay, 10 is a little extreme. You're right.
It's a lot.
Yeah. So Noah is one of them.
Oh, you've got a.
Esteban is one of them. So once they give me like a summary of who they're gonna talk about, then I'll know what to focus in. Like let's say,
Grief journey.
yeah, like
Because she's doing
Yeah.
a doc on grief.
so let's say
And-
him, right? You could talk about his father,
Yeah.
and his father was a pastor.
Yeah.
So we could go dive into that, and we
Mhm.
could do B-roll at the church that he used to preach, whatever.
Okay.
And then Noah, whatever his thing is, and then we could dive into that.
Mhm.
And then the other person, which is going to be a girl, hopefully if she doesn't flake, we could dive into that,
Okay.
and then that should be.
I don't think
than
you.
sufficient.
I don't. Yeah, 3 is good, very good. 5 is max best. You know what I mean? Not best, but 3 is ideal. 5 would be like, okay, that's reasonable.
Okay.
You know, but
so
you don't. 3 is great. 3 is.
I think 3
kinda
should
is-
be enough, just
right.
because it's going to be my first doc,
Right.
and I don't want to get too crazy on it, you know.
I don't know.
And maybe I don't know if I can include
my.
myself in there and be
Why
another
not?
person.
Why not? And it'd be nice if
You
you,
know,
could
so-
diversify. You know, you've got male voices. It's nice to have a female voice thrown in, just to kind of, you know.
Yeah, I don't know how deep I want to dive in yet.
That's what you're asking these folks.
Yeah.
Well, it's a lot easier for them to dive in than me.
Is it really?
Do I like specifically also like have to mention like the person's name?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
You don't have to. You could just maybe describe the relationship you had
Yeah.
with them.
Because kind of like the one issue of I'm kind of having is like, oh, what if like their family, like, cause I'd be like maybe talking about a friend. What if like their family
Right.
doesn't want this to be?
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of like my.
That makes sense.
Oh,
Alright.
right.
And you're
Right.
talking about it as a third party,
Yeah.
so you don't. Because there's stuff in my life
Yeah,
that
because
has
from-
happened to me that I don't want to talk about because it affects other people
Yeah.
as well. So
Ooh, yeah, you're gonna have to do some planning on this. Like, what are the parameters you're going
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
you're going to cover
exactly.
and not cover?
Yeah, no, that
Sounds
that
complex.
is,
But
It is
definitely
complex.
doable.
And it's grief, and that's a hard subject to,
Dive into.
you know.
We could still do aliens.
ghost hunting.
I just don't do aliens. I'm just like, you know, I watched that guy with the spiky hair on Net Geo or whatever that channel is, and okay, all right, but I'm not a aliens person. Just not. They don't-
Jason,
they
see, I
don't move
tried.
me.
I tried.
They don't move me. I'm sorry. I got nothing against them. They just don't do anything for me. So, or should I just like leave this here? Do we tape it up? What do we do?
Oh, we tape it up.
Oh, we tape it up? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, there's my doc. We are in the middle of post-production for that. I still have the short version out. I'm gonna be in this area in San Jose next week, Tuesday.
That's not this
At-
area.
Oh.
That's 2 hours away.
You guys are 2 hours away from San Jose?
Or is it an hour?
It's an hour from where I live.
Well, an hour and 30 minutes from here.
It's longer for like.
But
East folks.
but I
Oh,
guess
got it.
Bay Area, yes.
Yeah, Bay
but it's
Area.
still pretty
Well, I
far.
consider you guys Bay Area.
We are Bay Area.
Yeah, yeah.
We're East Bay Area.
So
Bay.
I'll be at.
But they're
okay.
South Bay.
Yeah.
Right.
There's
Right.
sensitive feelings about it all.
Is it?
Well, not sensitive feelings, just far.
Yeah. So.
I mean, Concord is also like more north as well from like where I live too, so
Okay.
that's why it's
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
like Concord right here, SF like right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll be showcased, I'll screen the short version of this there at City
I could
College,
probably do it.
San Jose.
The what?
City
I could do
College.
When?
Nice.
Next week, Tuesday? Oh, no, Monday. Was it, when's the 5th? Cinco de Mayo.
May
Cinco de
5th.
Mayo.
Okay.
May 5th, it's gonna be May
May
5th.
That
Cinco de
is
Mayo.
a Monday, I think.
Monday or Tuesday, one of the two.
Oh,
Yeah, I want a picture, but hang on.
Yeah, because I think
I like
May 9th.
Monday. It's a Monday.
It's a
Yeah,
Monday,
'cause May
okay.
9th.
So next week, Monday, I'm gonna be there.
steady energy from black and green tea.
you wanna try it?
It's not. No,
Am I
then
gonna
I'll
go
take
back?
that one.
That silence conveys, yeah, I want to, but should I?
Bless you.
That's how I interpret that.
Is there caffeine?
Yes. It
Lots
has
of caffeine?
Oh, I don't know.
God bless you.
You're at it. Oh, it's gluten free.
Lots of caffeine.
That's a good thing, gluten.
Sparkling plus. Okay, so it's V8 sparkling plus energy.
V8, they've expanded out.
Oh yeah, their juices
Wow.
were pretty good for
It's 35% juice though.
35% juice. 10 grams of sugar.
Okay, let's take a
Well,
picture.
Yeah. But
The other 65 is caffeine. Oh,
Caffeine level. Oh, right there.
okay.
Sparkling plus energy.
Oh,
Okay.
I'll go on this side though. We got you in the middle. Here we go, Jeanette.
You guys are both shorter than me.
Alright, give me a second. We're starting. Not yet? Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Okay.
Snap, snap,
Just 1 second.
Eventually, one of them.
snap, snap, snap.
Alright.
Oh, that's the recorder.
Let's see.
Audio recorder.
Yes.
Audio and camera. There's nothing else here that is
That's fine.
going on that you don't know about.
We should
Is
be
this
live.
like an this?
But I don't know.
What?
Is this like at all angles? No, that's.
Got my 2 angles and the one close up.
And that's the one that's like covers all of the.
And, yeah.
Oh,
and
there's
I'm-
2, 3, 4, 5
This
cameras.
is BTS. So.
Yeah, and I'm also BTS too.
I was like, I'd taste that sucralose, but I'm gonna drink you anyways.
Anyway, you guys ready?
Sure, anytime you are.
I'll eventually do this, so don't get scared.
It's kind of your thing. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I
yeah.
have one of those in my movie.
Ready to go? Are we ready? Hello, guys. Welcome to YouGrind. I have here.
Karina E. Turner.
Memory.
So, tell us about yourselves.
Oh, I gotta go. All right. So, I'm basically a filmmaker by trade. I started out as an actor first and then took a long hiatus because I got married and moved out of Hollywood and just started getting back into it. I am actually happy working behind the camera. So I think that's where I'm going to stay.
What did you do in the gap
In the gap,
of marriage and moving?
Yeah, I was married, lived in the Central Valley. I was a housewife, and then I ended up taking care of my stepdad who had Alzheimer's. Took care of him for 10 years. And I honestly think in those 10 years, it probably, it affected our marriage. So after my stepdad died, I don't have a marriage, and I have a career instead.
So you're no longer married.
Technically, I am legally still married.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but it's in the process of being kaput. I went there, didn't I?
How about yourself?
Well, I got into film a couple of years ago, about 6-7 years ago. Had a big long gap between that. Jumped back into it thanks to Karina.
Yeah.
And I've been in so many different areas.
Where'd you meet her? If you don't mind.
Actually, it was on Road Don't Drift.
Okay.
I answered an ad on Facebook, or a post on Facebook, sorry. Was a background actor, and then I turned into a PA, and then I was working with the assistant director on multiple productions, just being a PA, and
Here we are.
here we are. And then I worked with you.
Okay. That's a nice comeback. You know, to get to connected to the right person and then go from there.
Mm-hmm.
You don't hear that very often.
Not a lot of people have an Alex.
Right. And you've interviewed him, so.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's a friend of the podcast.
Yeah.
Twice.
Twice.
Yeah.
Oh, he told me there was a second round.
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
The first,
Right on.
he's actually my very first guest in this channel because my other channel got hacked. So it was 3 of us, and he happened to be my first comeback person.
Okay.
And then we've done another one more recently. So yeah, he's a friend of the podcast, as well as my AD. So there you go. I guess we're all connected by Alex.
Yeah. He's the linchpin.
Shout out.
He's the linchpin. Alex is the linchpin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is something that people don't really know about you that you're willing to share with us today?
I'm a hobbyist.
Okay.
I managed to go ahead and get all of these different little craft ideas or something of the sort.
wanna
The
show?
soaps, the rosaries that
Blue
we went
soap.
ahead.
And then this, right?
Yeah,
Very Catholic, very
Very
Mexican.
very Mexican.
Very
I had
cutesy.
to put that mal de ojo in there.
Tamal de ojo.
Mal de ojo.
Oh, man de ojo, the third eye. Got it.
And
Okay, so you
Yeah.
do soaps, right?
I do soaps mainly, but I've been branching out and I've been doing props. I did a lot of the props for a short that I ended up writing, but we're going to be redoing that from scratch here pretty soon.
A short
I wrote a short.
that you recorded already.
Yeah, well, it was partially recorded. We had about 2 scenes left, and then now I'm moving, so I can't use the apartment anymore, so we have to do everything from scratch. But I think I'm okay with it, though.
Why didn't you finish it though?
Schedules and conflicts.
So this wasn't like a one and done deal? It's
No.
multiple shooting days?
It was multiple shooting days. We had, excuse me, you.
Which is okay because
Yeah.
sometimes you have to start new. And I ended up on Echoes of Betrayal, so the film I did before the one we worked on, I had to basically get rid of the whole crew and cast and start up from scratch. So it's not like a foreign concept.
No, it's not.
But it sucks when you have to do that.
Oh wow, I'm curious. What happened there?
I was working with people that weren't motivated. And every time I said, "Come on, let's do this, they would give me an excuse every time. So I said, "I'm not getting anywhere."
Right.
So I just dumped them and hired a whole new cast and crew, and we got it done. It
Yeah.
took me about a year.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, honestly, I gotta praise all of these guys. You know, from Noah to Esteban to Raphael and Jason. I mean, when I showed up on Soul Reflection, it was like, oh, these guys love doing this. These are the kind of people I like working around. You know.
Well, that's
We all
where
speak
I
the same
met.
language.
That's where I met them. You know,
Okay.
when we first started shooting that, we got it done. It got the job done. It wasn't anything too amazing or too unique, but we got it done.
Right.
So that's
Do you know how many projects don't get done?
a lot. Probably too many that I
more
can count.
than what gets started.
Right.
I mean, yeah. More end up. They all start, or some don't even make it to the starting line. You know, they might toss around in development for a long time, or just ideas.
Right.
They talk about it, ideas,
Right.
talk about it, ideas, and then it's just nothing.
Gets done.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
I just shared something that not too many. I don't talk about it. You know, I don't talk about the divorce. It's just a weird, awkward journey for me. When from 2017, when my husband first said he wanted that, and then it was kind of just a weird journey. And here, where am I now? 2025, still legally married, but we're living in completely different locations.
Is there a
Yeah.
shot, even a little one, to get back together?
It would. I would need to know that he did some personal work. I would need to know, because it was the lack of any personal work that led him to make the decision that he did. You know, and you know, I can't do his personal work.
Right.
You know, I
Because
can
it's
only do
his
my
personal
own.
work.
That's right.
His.
I can only do my own, and I did a lot. So, yeah.
But not, hopefully not for him, but for yourself.
Oh, it was definitely for myself. Otherwise, I wouldn't physically be here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, it's relationships are hard work.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what kind of level. They all take work. If you
Yeah.
want to make them work.
Right.
Not that I know anything about that. Anyway. Okay. So you want to talk about Row Don't Drift?
Road Don't Drift. This is interesting. This is my 4th documentary that I've done. This is my first full-length documentary. So 4th all together, but my first full-length. And
What are the rules to make it a full-length documentary?
anywhere from minimum 70 minutes to 90 minutes is, or you make it a whole 2 hours, you know?
Okay.
Anything beyond 70 minutes, basically. 70 and beyond is a full-length feature in general. Everything else below that is considered some kind of a short.
Right.
So, and it's funny because this, Road Don't Drift. So what happened with this story is that I was in a play right before COVID. We finished the play together, me and the other actresses, we were in it. And one of them who I worked with, or was in the play with, told me, I've got this story. I know you do documentaries. I've got this story I think you might want to be interested in. And I said, sure, you know, and then she was kind of proceeded to tell me a little bit about it. It had to do with Japanese internment camps in World War II, and, you know, she had me at Japanese internment camp. Then I met with the family, and it was funny, at the same time as I was getting to know them, just kind of get to know, you know, no promises made that we're going to make this documentary. I just kind of wanted to get a feel for it. Another friend who I know through the arts, he's the artistic director. Big shout out to Colton Dennis, who ended up in the movie, by the way. But Colton Dennis, he's the artistic director for our local multicultural arts center. He contacted me and said, hey, there's this grant that's come down the pipeline. We've never seen anyone like this. and I think you should go for it. And he didn't know I had this story that I was just starting to step into. And he says, apply. And it just so happened that some of the parameters fit the story here with Roe. So I did apply, got the grant, and it's not what I recommend, because the problem was we weren't finished with development. We weren't finished with any kind of script when we got approved for the grant. And then it was all of a sudden, the grant has this very hard deadline in a year from the time it was awarded to us. And we're like, holy smokes, we don't have a script. We were scrambling. We were literally trying to build that airplane in the air and put it together while it was flying. So it's probably one of the most stressful. I'm grateful for this film, but it was probably one of the most stressful productions I've ever had to.
Would you say
work
this
with.
is like the highlight of your career?
I don't consider it my magnum opus. Is it a highlight? It's a highlight in the sense that it's my first feature. It's my first full length. It's my first really large crew and cast. We started off with maybe 6 crew, and then it grew into, 12, 15 crew, 20, I don't even know. I'm looking at all the...
Sounds like a big production.
It was a huge, for me, it was a huge production. And my goal all the way through, because of my experience as a screen actor, my experience on the professional sets that I was on, I wanted to replicate our set to run the same way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone has their lane. Everyone takes care of what they're there to do. You know, we all work like a well-oiled machine. And another thing is I want to make sure everyone was fed. I'm big on that. So.
Mm-hmm. How'd you manage to deal with all these people on set and not lose your energy because of all the people around you or all these personalities? How did you manage to pull it through?
I love people. It's a great energy. In fact, this is weird. I can probably be on set and go 24 hours straight through and just do that. Reality-wise, no. I need sleep and so forth. But we did have, I'm not proud of it, but we did have a 17.5 hour long shoot once. Simply because we didn't have a production designer. But we had pre-planned kind of what our set was going to look like. What I didn't plan was how I was going to make these certain sconces we were going to put on the wall, how they were going to go up on the wall. And so we ended up running around everywhere trying to find a drill, trying to find certain things. It held us back 3 hours. So I guess technically we would have finished shooting at 14.5 hours, but it set us back an extra 3.
So how long did you take to finish shooting? Was it months?
It took
weeks?
months. It took months. I would say year. A year, because we started September 2023. We shot our first interview, and then in November of that year, 2023, we shot our first narrative. Because this is World War II. He's not alive, so we try to pull circumstances that he had in his journals of the person that we're covering. Out of his journals, we created these scenes, to sort of transport the audience to this is what it may have been like, the interactions that he had with people at those moments. And then, so that was November. We got through we passed through the holidays, and then we picked right up in January of 2024, shot all the way through March, thinking we're done. March 2024, we thought we're done because we've got to present, we have this deadline in April that we have to show this film because of that one grant that we got. So we pushed it, and that became what I call our short version, which is 37 minutes long. Then so now, we always had the intent to have the full-length feature. That was always our intent. So the short came out, and then I asked my editor, could you start working on the full length? We looked at the full length and we said, we need some extra scenes. This isn't fleshed out enough. So in November of 2024, we shot some narrative stuff again. And then we shot again most recently in March we shot our final, we call it the car scene, where we had all the 1940s. We had
Yeah,
like
yeah.
11 amazing vintage, you know, cars, and their owners come on set. They brought their cars, and they just really were so in, you know.
I don't know if I would have the stigma to just keep going after a
Oh,
year of
I
just
believe you
work and
I
like
believe you
I thankfully I never had to do anything that crazy yet. Obviously, I'm working towards that, but I don't know if I have the patience in me to like wait and wait and wait and do and do. Like I'm like a
It's
go
not-
getter.
You are a go-getter, but the thing is, I believe for you, their passion and love for it is what's going to help you see it to the end.
Right.
That
And
don't worry
also-
about the patience.
And also
It's your
you have a
passion and your
team.
love.
You have a team, you know,
Oh,
that
yeah,
that
so
helps
do you.
you and,
Right.
and keeps you focused.
Right.
But I don't know. I'm like super impatient. I'm super freaking impatient.
Yeah, but you're also super passionate.
That's true.
You know,
That's
no,
true.
one of the things that impressed me about you, when I heard about you through Alex, I was just like, oh my gosh, you're just a regular gal who just loves this stuff, and you're making it happen for yourself. You are making it happen, and you're inviting people into the, you know, to the situation and to the projects. And I don't know, we could ask everybody else here that's behind the camera, it's like, why are you doing this? They're probably going to say it's because I love it. We do it for the love of it.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Right.
You'll see it to the end. I don't know what your big project's going to be, but you'll see it to the end. I believe it.
Well, we might give you a little teaser. It's a doc. It's a doc.
Oh,
It's a
really?
dog.
It's a dog. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a doc.
Did you hear about that? Did you know about that?
I pitched it to her. Everybody in this room knows about the doc.
Okay.
So. And you're gonna be directing it, so.
Oh, I am?
Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
wow. I don't,
Yes, ma'am.
oh, wow. That's the first I heard about it. Now it's in front of the camera.
Oh, I didn't tell you? I didn't tell you I wanted you to direct this?
I thought we were just talking about it.
Oh,
You're
no,
just,
no. I don't just
getting
talk.
some ideas, and I'm like, yeah, you know,
Nope.
da-da.
Nope, I plan on shooting this in June. If not, May. Why are you laughing at me?
May is like week. Yeah.
End of May, early June.
Oh my gosh.
I'm telling you, I am impatient and I will seek it, I will make it happen. Are you telling me I'm not being realistic right now?
No, I'm not going to tell you that at all. You could do whatever you want to do. You know, it's the question of how deep am I going? That's
Right,
You know
right.
what I mean?
I don't know, you're the one that has, you have this under your name, so
Yeah.
you're gonna tell me, I guess. We'll find out.
We'll need a development meeting. That's all.
Do you have Zoom?
Oh God, Zoom. Let's not talk about Zoom. Zoom is not our friend.
Oh no.
What?
We don't like Zoom calls. We like in-person calls.
Oh.
Okay.
Yet you guys live 2 hours away, so we might have to figure out how to meet halfway,
Oh,
right?
A halfway point.
that's fair.
Halfway point is fair.
Halfway point is fair. What is that, Tracy?
Somewhere on the Delta.
Somewhere on the Delta.
Just go to Antioch, maybe that could be a good place to meet up.
Where?
Antioch?
Antioch?
Yeah.
Oh, at that park?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Achoo!
Achoo. I got the allergy pills.
Or Dublin, maybe.
Or Tracy.
One of
She
those.
mentioned Tracy.
Oh.
Yeah,
That'd be middle ground.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
They have an In and Out there.
there we go. We're meeting in Tracy at In-N-Out. There, the more you.
Black Bear Diner.
Oh, there you
Black
go. Yeah, I
Bear.
think it's right by.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, if you
I
go
like
on
Black
the
Bear
205, there's like Black Bear Diner
Okay.
like, right there.
All right.
So
Yeah.
being female.
What?
So being
Who
female.
told you that?
It is 2025. Lord only knows what we are nowadays.
I'm sorry.
Have
I'm
you
being
guys
honest.
encountered any hardships being female and being in the filming industry? Or do you not focus on that? Any experience?
behind the camera work? I personally have not had any blocks, any, resistance. I personally, in fact, I've had, well, maybe it's the season or maybe it's now, more support and respect, so to speak. When I was starting out as an actor, there were some problems. In fact, I remember when I was in the midst of finding a new agent, this one guy said, hey, come to my office, da-da-da-da-da, and, it was some like 5 o'clock at night, in the evening, and so forth, come to my office, blah-da-da. I said, oh, okay. So I arrived. His wife was his secretary. So I go into his office. She's outside in the other room. And then he's talking. And then in the conversation, I kind of got a sense that this guy was not just interested in having me come on board his agency, that if he could get a little more out of the relationship, so to speak, and that's when I found ways to just kind of get myself out of the room, which I did, thankfully. And then 1 week later, I see him on the news. He's being arrested because he's had some very inappropriate interactions with certain talent. And I was just like, I dodged a bullet.
Mm-hmm. Is that very common?
Apparently it is. I mean, that was my personal experience.
This was when you were an actress?
This is, when I was pursuing the act. And I've had a producer at a workshop that I attended. I was younger, cuter. Now I'm older. Nobody's, barking up my tree. Which
You're
honestly,
saying it.
I am, and I'm glad. This is terribly distracting. But there was this one producer too. At the end of the workshop, everybody's hanging around talking, blah blah blah, and he's like, "Hey, you want to come join us for some drinks and things like that?" And I was just like, "Oh no, don't want that," So it's they'll fish, but I don't bite.
Maybe you should be open to it.
It's more on my plate than I really, really want.
In time.
I mean, I absolutely love the fact, I love the fact, being female, I love the fact that this business brings a lot of males into it. Just their energy and how men like to operate and so forth. I really like to be in that environment. I do. I completely enjoy it, and it's friendship that I really favor. I don't need anything beyond that. Mm-hmm. And I'm good. I go home and I'm good.
What about yourself?
I haven't really. Well, no, I haven't really gotten into anything controversial like that. Normally I just get hired and I just do my job. I just kind of just go with it as much as I can. I try not to look for any issues, so that way I can just go home at the end of the day. I have a kid.
Yeah.
So that's enough chaos for me.
Facts. He's a little boy too, so he
Yeah.
has a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Keeps you busy
Yeah.
and focused.
And mom's number one. So
Yes.
Mom's
In his
number
life.
one to do everything. Do everything.
Okay. I'm glad. Nothing too crazy.
No. Not like that.
Good. It could stay that way.
Well, I'm pretty strong-headed, so I probably wouldn't let anything really come at me.
Well, things happen without you
Yeah.
wanting it sometimes. You
No,
can't
I
really
don't
control other people. So.
True.
Very true.
Do you guys believe in aliens?
I haven't thought one way or the other. I lean more toward probably not, but
You're about the second person that said that.
really.
Yeah, everybody else is like, yeah, totally.
I believe there's aliens in our ocean.
There's some out there. Yeah. It's a lot out there. Yeah.
We're not talking about illegal aliens, right?
I wasn't, but there's those two. There's those two.
It's okay, I'm a product of immigrants.
Me too.
Same.
Me too. So
I am an immigrant.
there you go. Diverse group here, for sure.
Very.
Very.
Okay, I started liking this.
Oh my god, she's the whole entire time she's been like, do I like this? Do I know?
You guys got a convert now.
Okay. What is one thing you want to share with the world?
Well, it's definitely not kindness. Just kidding.
We got a comedian here.
But the world does need a lot more of it.
I agree. But it starts with within.
It really does. People need to be more at peace with themselves if they're gonna emit peace or spread it. Kindness, all that other stuff.
You know, I didn't ask you what led you to film.
Hmm.
Or you. I know you were in Hollywood acting and stuff, but what led to that?
Well, this time we'll start with you.
Ooh. I see where this is going.
Oh, I just feel like I've been doing a lot of talking. So.
Well, I've always been a very creative person. I started photography back in high school, and after high school, photography, I'm still doing photography. But after high school, I started delving a little bit more into the different arts that can be created. I did do animation. I went to animation school for a little while. I wanted to do gaming. I wanted to be a character developer. But then something happened with the school. And then I got into film. Did a couple of films with a friend of mine who's the colorist for Row Don't Drift. And
So you just recently got into film?
no, I did. I started maybe about 7 years ago.
Okay.
I was in 2 films for my friend Juan, where I acted next to him, and then I was the background character.
So seems like you have all these talents. Which one do you like the best? Which one are you best at?
I do not know my niche. I
Okay.
do not know. So I don't try to be a perfectionist with absolutely everything I do. I just like doing it, so I do it. So normally, when I get that request, like, oh, can you help me do this? Can you help do that? I'm just like, okay.
So you're a master of everything.
I don't want to say a master.
You could do
I just-
everything. You're willing to try.
I'm willing to try is really what it is. And if I'm okay at it, then I'm okay at it.
How's your camera skill?
Like holding the camera,
Like DPing?
I think maybe I probably could do it.
No. I need to know yes or no.
Mm.
Because I don't think I've ever seen a DP female.
Oh, no?
No. They're
I'm not
usually
sure.
male.
Really?
hmm
That is very interesting to know. So,
But again, film is mainly male dominant.
yeah.
It's starting to change slowly but surely, but it's like everything else in life right now. Very male dominant.
Looks like I'm going to have to learn something new.
The reason I asked that is, I don't know. It's good to be able to try things and want to learn things, but once you have at least one thing that you're like, okay, like me for I love to produce. I write, I produce. That's my strength. I can get into other things. I can try and learn other things, but those two are my thing. And if you ask me which one I like most, writing or producing, I can't pick because I like them both uniquely and together.
That's a good combination.
Yeah.
Just like sometimes you have a DP that is also a director. And try to hold on to those because that's less money you have to budget, you know, when they're separate director and DP. But when they're one, perfect. Now, you don't see that often, though. I have seen it a couple times where the DP is a director, but it doesn't work out very well all the time. But
I have some research.
you just gotta find your thing, the thing that is like what you're known for, what you're most passionate about. You don't have to listen to me. But that's my thought process. I don't know. Be you though.
I feel that. It's your turn.
I'm old enough to be your mom, for both of you. So for me, what sparked it, so I'm a little kid. This is back when there was only black and white TV.
Oh God.
So TV's only like so big. So fascinated by it since I was a little kid, single digits. And one day, it was in the early 70s. This is when Elvis Presley was doing his big Aloha Hawaii, this is before live streaming occurred. They were doing a live telecast around the world with Elvis, and he was filming in Hawaii, where I grew up, and we're watching him. And my dad nonchalantly said, "Yeah, I had lunch with him once." I couldn't connect a bit at the moment. I'm watching something going on. It never connected with how an actual person was inside that TV. And then my dad had lunches. This is history with Elvis. He ended up in the army. Mm-hmm. He got sent to Germany. My dad was stationed in Germany at the same time. They're only like 6 years apart, the two of them. And then they were told to always, don't go near him, don't talk to him, It was Elvis's call. They ended up sitting across from each other at the mess hall, eating and talking. So my dad told me it's just a conversation, just a lunch conversation he had with him and so forth. And I was like, that was the first time I said real life, and then this whole thing going on TV. I'm like, I want a part of that. Whatever that is, I want a part of that. Because I was always putting on little plays and acts and everything at home as a little kid and stuff, but that I knew that Elvis was making a living at it. Didn't know how rich he was, but he was making a living at it. And I thought, I want to do that. And so it's just been in me ever since. I've had things in life where I was away from it. I started off more in theater, live theater. Started there because that was the most accessible. Mm-hmm. At least I learned and got trained and so forth. But I was always shooting for Hollywood. Now there's no Hollywood really, but, I was shooting for film, TV, film. So here I am.
How do you feel about it not being any more Hollywood?
I'm actually excited about it because their implosion is actually leaving opportunity for us, the independent filmmaker. And just like Sean Baker said at Oscars, he said, he's a lifer as an independent filmmaker. And I'm like, yes, thank you for saying that. Because now we have a true opportunity. Back when I was young, there's no way. We didn't have access to cameras like this. This is digital. Back, you had to have the money for film. You had to be able to develop it. It was cost prohibitive back in the day, or to even get a film camera. But the cameras that we have access to now, it's so doable, and the quality that comes out of most of these cameras. What is it? The movie The Creator was done with an FX3, which was, you gig that out, it'll cost you something under 10 grand to gig that out, have it ready to go. An FX3, everything that you would need, tripod, all that stuff. So you got that camera ready to go, even a gimbal. That movie was made, The Creator film was made with an FX3. That is considered a prosumer camera like we've got here in this room. And that's so encouraging and inspired me that we're at a golden age. If we understand it, we can strike while the iron's hot as indie filmmakers. Just do it. Do exactly what you're doing. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other. See your vision, go after your vision. Boom.
So you mentioned that you were an actress and director and whatnot. Which one would you say is your favorite?
Okay, my favorite would be directing. Mm-hmm. I like that. What I hear a lot is say, "Oh, Karina, you're good at producing." you're good at producing. And I'm like, oh, it's not what I want to hear.
Why not?
Producing has more headaches. It comes with more headaches. And it's you know, it's sometimes all the business side of things and not the creative side. And then as a producer, I don't necessarily need to be on set. Because if you've got a director, the director's handling all that.
Right.
You know, you don't technically need to be on set. But I like to be on set. I like to engage. I like to, you know, connect with a lot of people. The other thing the one way around for me is to do BTS work. That way I'm in set, I interact with everybody, but I'm not responsible for anything.
Yeah.
I like the not being responsible.
Right.
And with the producer, you have to be responsible. You got to be responsible for licensing, for getting fees taken care of. You've got to have clearance to film in certain locations. You just got to make sure all your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed to make sure that production gets done.
With that said, you can always have help.
Well,
you don't
yeah,
have to
that's
do
true.
it all yourself.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm about 80% there. I think I'm very, you know, I'm getting hard lessons now than when I, you know, branch out and do some epic or big. So
What's the biggest lesson for you right now?
right now that I have encountered, yeah, like location scouting and getting the permits. I had to get somebody in this room to help me with that. And we got this park in Antioch, and we didn't even end up using the bleachers, which was the whole point of that purchasing that that specific location.
Yeah.
And it's like we went through all that headache to not even use it for what we intended to.
Yeah. That's filmmaking.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, the permits, the insurance, like you said,
Yeah.
the back end.
It's the business part
Yeah,
of it.
the business part of it.
You know,
Which
it's
is
the part where
lame,
you're-
but it's essential for the director and everybody else to do
yeah,
their
it's
thing.
not sexy work.
It's not.
It's not. But oh my gosh, it's so necessary. You know. Yeah.
Also, the paperwork really matters. And I'm
Yeah.
learning that too.
Yes, it does. I had a situation myself. I got a call early Monday saying, "Hey, so I'm waiting on the project. When am I gonna?" One of my post-production crew members. I won't name names, and I would like half awake. I'm like, when is it due? And I thought, I'm like, are we late? Are we running behind on post-production? And I'm in my mind, I don't have the computer in front of me to look for it. And he's saying, hey, what's going on? I'm here waiting, I've got these other projects coming in. I make sure, I can get this taken care of in the window. And I was like, let me get back with you. I go and look on the contract and realize we're early. Not due for another 2 weeks. So I'm like, we're on time. So that
on
contract-
paper. It's on paper.
That's what you signed. You see that signature right there? Oh, slow down. I know you probably want to get paid sooner, but I'm not rushing this project. I'm not rushing it. I rushed it earlier to try to meet a previous deadline. Because by the way, I don't know if people know, if you don't meet all the parameters of a grant, they want their money back. That sucks.
So you have to think twice before you get a grant, I guess. But
Yeah.
there's no way around it because the bigger the project is, the more the budget is, and
Right.
it can't come out of pocket at that point.
Right.
It just can't.
No.
It's not realistic.
And you gotta find that's right, I was gonna send you a list. I'll send you the list of the grants that I've looked at. There's no guarantee on grants, but there's a wide range of what grants have with their restrictions. Like the lower price grants, like maybe 4-digit grants, $5,000, $8,000, $9,000 grants. They're usually a lot more broader, a bit more open-handed, like here's the money, give us credit when you do all your social media, and then when you actually, put the thing together, make sure you put us on there as your, a credit toward the production being made. And they don't tell you, you can't spend it on this, you can't spend it on that, and so forth. That's sweet. But I would need several of those to make something happen, depending on the project. And then you've got the grants that are in like 6 digits or even 5 digits. There's like, you can spend the money over here, but you can't spend the money on that. Like my first grant, I was so excited, everyone's all excited, 6 digits. Oops. But I was not permitted to spend money on food, couldn't spend money on gas, couldn't spend money on...
That limits a lot.
Right?
It's almost not worth having it then.
It was almost not worth having it. It's like, you see that money, but I need it over here, but I can't spend it over there. There were just so many limits to it. It was a completely frustrating situation. And the one way we got around that was that we were able to get another grant to make up the difference in the areas where we needed it. That one took the bulk of paying for talent. Okay, at least the money can go to talent. That's a good thing, But I couldn't even pay for PAs. I couldn't pay for because they consider those people technical people, not artists. The grant was very clear. We want someone who is an artist. Depending on who cleared the grant, we almost couldn't get an editor as an artist, because the people who are overseeing the grant locally, some of them didn't know what an editor does or what the responsibility and their contribution is.
Definitely
totally
art.
an art.
Yeah.
There's a skill set goes technically with the tool that you're using, but it is absolutely, you're a storyteller. So, and I thought, these people are ignorant. They don't know what an editor does. So I can't say money is going to an editor, because they would have gone, no, that's a technician. That's not an artist.
Not a technician.
So it's those kinds of battles sometimes.
Right.
Just because they have the money doesn't mean they understand the art.
Right.
And how it's done. So there's battles like that. That's from the producing standpoint. That's a headache I don't want, but it's a headache I have to take on to make this happen. And it's hard wearing the director and producer hat at the same time on a set, because knowing that, oh my goodness, we're going into overtime, and I'm thinking in my brain, there's the budget. Then I'm thinking as a director, I got to get the scene done. I want to get the scene. I don't want to rush my actor. I don't want to, you know what I mean? And then it feels like Sybil. I don't know if you guys from it just split personality. I've got that 2 sides battling each other out. And usually the director wins over the producer. And so, we end up spending more money than, we ought.
With all that said, filmmaking is a lot of work. So for somebody, like, what would be an advice to somebody who is just starting out? What would you advise them? Number 1 advice.
Do it. Do it. Don't hesitate. Be fearless when it comes to your fear of not doing well. Be fearless about failure, because that's the only thing that stops people. That's the difference between the folks that actually get somewhere and the folks that are still back there going, I've got this story, I'm thinking about it, I want to film it. You've got to be fearless when it comes to failure. And failure is the fear of failure is what holds a lot of people back. You just got to go out there and make a fool of yourself. Be willing. Usually you're not going to. Usually it doesn't turn out as bad as you think. But yeah, you just got to bite fear in the butt.
Oh yeah. Because once you let that fear take over you, you get discouraged. And once that discouragement just hits, that's it.
But once you do that first one and it's your passion, you can't stop.
Yeah.
And then
You
the
really
second,
can't.
third, fourth, fifth,
There you go.
and it's end of story. You're hooked for life, like me.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us in the water, You're swimming with the dolphins.
Well, you're right. If I didn't do the first projects, I
Yeah.
would have never done it.
Yeah.
So that's solid right there.
Oh yeah.
Amen to that. Any last thoughts, comments before we end this?
Thank you
Yeah.
for
Thanks.
bringing me, Mel, in.
Now it wouldn't be the YouGrind podcast if I didn't invite you guys. I met Ethan. He was a last episode podcast member. He is having a film festival in June.
Oh, wow.
Now I don't know all the details. You might need to email him. But I would like you to submit either like I don't know, the short version or something of this. I think you would bless us with your work, and I want you to be a part of this film festival.
Wow.
In June in Concord.
We can talk about that off camera.
For sure.
Okay.
So I make challenges for my guests.
Okay.
It wouldn't be a YouGrind podcast community if I didn't do crazy stuff.
Okay.
And for you, I need you to sponsor this soap where people can. Are you on Etsy? Where can they find your work?
Right now I can be found on Facebook and Instagram, Mel Makes Things, and I have my website connected to that. It's like Ko-Fi/Mel Make Things, and I think I have a 2 at the end because my first website got messed up.
So I need you to write me a little summary moving forward. Now I'll push that website every episode moving forward.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that.
That's all I got. Where can they find you guys at?
Oh, for Ro on Instagram at @row_don't_drift_film.
And
When can we expect it to be released?
September 2025 for the full length. We're shooting.
On YouTube?
No, not. We're gonna have an actual premiere physical in the theater.
That's dope. I'll be there. If it's not
Okay.
too far away.
No, we'll do one closer here too. We're gonna tour it throughout the state of California.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's exciting. I want to be a part of
We
that.
will be in your neighborhood.
Yes.
And me, I'm just on Instagram or Facebook at Mel Makes Things.
Thank you for watching, and go make things. Subscribe. That's all.
Get more V8s.
Oh, can we get like a 30-second review on your latest V8 concoction that you just tried?
So, definitely has a sparkle. I love the citrus in it. This is an orange pineapple V8 sparkling energy drink.
Don't show it. Don't show it. We might get sued by V8.
Unless they want to sponsor me.
There you go.
But I
What does it
generally
taste
like
like?
that. Well, like citrus.
Yeah.
Okay, like
tangerine,
pineapple.
No, it does have a
orange.
little bit more of that tangerine-esque. I do not taste the vegetable juice in there. I do. If there's any vegetable juice, there is vegetable juice. There's juice of sweet potatoes. No wonder I like this. I am already starting to get shaky. I do not drink caffeine. So I'll have a nice ride on the way home.
Oh my god.
That's everything. Please cut. Cut. Everything cut.
Okay. Oh my gosh.